morning, FlossTube. It's Chrissy, finally a farm girl, and it is Sunday, January 8th, 2023. It is still a little hard for me to say that. Welcome. If you are new to my channel, this is my channel about cross-stitch, sometimes my family, but mostly my cross-stitching journey, and every now and then some different fiber art crafts like rug hooking or wool applique, which I have not shared in a while. However, it is on my agenda for this year to get back to, for sure, rug hooking. I said that last year. I love primitive rug hooking, and I never got to it. I am, the year just 2022, I'm still flabbergasted at how fast it actually went. So many wonderful things that came my way in 2022. So, okay, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I am extremely blessed with some of the nicest friends that I have met by doing FlossTube and being part of the stitching community on both, Instagram as well as with my YouTube channel. I asked a question last week about whether or not I should record once a week or every other week. Mostly, it seems as though people would prefer that I continue to record on a weekly basis, which I absolutely don't mind. I enjoy my time doing this. It is not just recording a FlossTube for me. It's joining my friends, it's sharing my work, it's documenting for my kids, for hopefully maybe down the line they'll want to watch some of these, see the progress of what I've made, as well as when I do share my family, it's fun to go back and see how they've grown, even in just the year that I've been doing FlossTubes. So, and then for those that said maybe every other week would be great and have more to show, I completely understand that too. I watch FlossTube, and sometimes I do want to get straight to the stitching. However, I enjoy hearing about everybody's week, hearing about their plans. So I think what I decided to do is to just take it week by week. I think it just needs to be what it is. And even though I'm glad I asked the question and it gave me some really good feedback, I think at this point it might be best that I just be myself and continue going at a weekly basis. But like I can tell you, next week, on next Sunday, we're going to be celebrating my husband's birthday. His birthday was January 5th, but not everybody in the family could get together. So next Sunday morning, which works best for my girls, we will do his birthday. But what I decided to do is go live Sunday night. I'm excited about that. So this time, since I know a little bit more what I'm doing about going live, I have only done it once, and I did it in the morning, kind of like a trial run. This time, I absolutely am giving people notice and a chance that what I'm going to do is, once I get Philip to bed, and usually he goes to bed quite early. He's usually asleep by 6:30. So I'm thinking next Sunday, around 7 o'clock, I am going to have everything set up ahead of time and go live with you. I'm not sure if I can stitch with you, but I would certainly like to give it a shot. Sit right here, use my hands-free, and maybe stitch with you. The only thing that could cause is I've got to be able to see the questions as they come in live, or the comments as they come in live. So obviously I will pick something very relaxing to stitch, probably my Prairie schooler. So, okay, so welcome everybody. I am now less than 100 subscribers away from 8,000 subscribers. My goal was to hopefully be around 10,000 by the end of the year, but at this point it continues to grow, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the channel to just share with me. The only part of the data that I try to care about is that it's something that is steadily growing, consistently growing, making sure that I'm still providing something that people find, whether it's inspiring or that they're learning something, and just go from there. So I just want to avoid the channel getting stagnant. So And that can happen. That can happen. A lot of people take breaks and then they'll start recording again. So I don't think there's any right or wrong way of doing, creating a FlossTube for yourself, as long as it's represents yourself. So anyways, let's just get started. I had a great week. I really had a great week. I am not going to lie. I have had a busy week. I am not a person that likes to be unorganized when it comes to big things. So being, going to Nashville Market, I am basically, all my Christmas has come down, and my dining room table, I am trying to gather as much as I can and work on things from there so that I get an idea, and now I kind of have a pretty good idea as to the room I'd need in my car. I have taken care of a lot of things. My banner showed up this week, and that was fun to see. So as far as market goes, I finished my first market release, and it's ready to go, copied, stuffed, and so check that one off my box. And I have another one I should pick up hopefully maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, and I tried a different finish, and I'm excited about that. So anyways, moving right along, market is definitely something that has kept me busy. And we went up to, I picked up my friend, she came here, Jennifer, Sweet Chaos Stitcher. She came up to my house, and then I drove up to Brick City Cross Stitch. So we had a day up there having a good time, getting some things organized from Jean. Jean is the owner of Brick City Cross Stitch, and she has been a tremendous support when it comes to preparing myself for Nashville Market. She goes obviously as a shop owner, but she also has a friend of hers who is Cheryl of Glendon Place, and both of these ladies have just really helped me out with as being a beginner. So that was kind of nice to get up there, have a day with friendly chit chat on the way up and on the way back. So that was one day. Friday night, I went to dinner. I took my husband out to dinner. I rephrase that. Took my husband out to dinner with my dad and a couple of neighbors and Philip. And we went and had it was just a really nice time. We went over to the restaurant at Arlington Ridge. They have a really nice room with a fireplace, and it's quiet, and it works out perfect for Philip. So that was my Friday night. And then Saturday, I left almost everything for Christmas was down except for the big Christmas tree. And so that happened on Saturday. Okay, so I shared with you that, one of my gifts from Christmas this year from Linda was we wanted to try again with the Book of Days. So it's bound, and I love that. This is this is going to be the hardest thing again, isn't it? This is my progress. I'm not sure what's different in my lighting today in the back of the room, or if it's just up there. I got a lot of really nice comments on having the webcam, but and I'm still getting used to it. So thank you so much. I did rewatch it. I always do, and it did seem like the speaker was good, and I felt like the clarity was better. It's really just all about me getting used to another piece of technology. So anyways, I did really good, and I kept up. Now, both Linda and I decided that, yes, we love this, but last year I had picked up for her a planner I saw, and I kind of wanted to get her into the planner, and I found it at Ross, and so we were going to use two, because the Book of Days, although is awesome for tracking what you're working on, it is not, to me, the planner that you're going to use for everything in your life. So I write big, and if I'm going to do it, I need to just be able to do it and not worry about the space. So she also found for us these 2023 planners that was similar to what I'd gotten her, and she really liked. So it does give us more space. It has some pockets at the back, extra paper, and then in the weak area, I'll fold it like this. You've got a good area that you can write. So on this one, I put that I had watched a new FlossTube and kind of shared about it so I can track it, for you guys. So I wanted to give a very big shout out to the Garden Goose Stitcher. Now, Jennifer of Sweet Chaos Stitching mentioned it to me on the trip, and I said, no, I hadn't watched her yet. And it didn't even ring a bell as far as an Instagram follower. I gotta tell you, her name is Teresa. You will find her at, it's Teresa McMath, TeresaMcMath01 on Instagram. And I will have Randy put it right there so that you can find her on Instagram and watch as well. She is another Michigander, and she also, I believe, lives very close and in very familiar towns where my husband and I lived in Clarkston, Michigan. I think she may be in Davison, or she's close to Davison. Our farm was in Davisburg, and we lived in Clarkston. I lived in Waterford. She talked, I looked at her Instagram post, and she shared a picture of her at a concert at Pine Knob with her husband, and my husband worked at Pine Knob. I skied at Pine Knob. I mean, there's just, it was really fun, and I loved her personality. It is a carefree, she started stitching, I believe she said, in 2018. So you need to go watch her. It was so easy to stitch to her. Even though I was stitching, I could still follow with what she's, was working on and sharing. She has geese, which I did too. I made the mistake of naming my first pair of geese Albert and Virginia after my grandparents, and they both died. So that wasn't a really great way to go. So I learned that. I didn't after that follow a lot of animals, name them after family members, just per chance. But anyways, I did ultimately end up having about 4 geese that I absolutely loved. I loved raising them. I just loved watching them swim in the bathtub. I just loved it. So she's fun, she's light, she's truthful and authentic, and her husband was in the service and just retired. So that's my big referral this week. Is she's just very fun, and she's so motivated, and she's got some fun projects. She's in love with Brenda Gervais right now. I spent my last night watching, I think, 3 or 4 of her episodes. So there's my recommendation if you have not found her, the Garden Goose Stitcher. Really, really cute, and a nice backdrop. She's got a beautiful quilt behind her, and I know sometimes that maybe that's not important, but I like it because I'm looking at this person, so I just enjoy that. Okay. All right, let's go to whips. Last week I shared with you that I started at my dad's Chessie and Me Mabel Lee, a reproduction sampler. I love this. This has been such a pleasure to stitch. I'll show you my progress. Let me see if I can try to get it in close for you. I just feel like the lighting is not right. I don't have it right today. Anyways, I got a couple more rows done, and I really enjoy this. This has been a pleasure, and now I am down to almost okay, so I have the rest of the lowercase alphabet there, and then I'll be down in these motifs. So I don't think it's going to be too long for me to finish this up. Maybe another couple weeks, because I don't work on it every single night. But this is by Chessie and Me, and I keep it in my project bag. Hold on one second. I don't know that she's made any a while, and it's one of my first ones, but this is by Diddly Daddle Designs on Instagram. I love hers because they were quilted, and she is known for these really cute button cover. So I'm not sure, but you can find her on Instagram as well. I'm just not confident she's doing these anymore. So that is Mabel Lee. Now, I love that name, Mabel. I just think that's really cute. Okay, then I had a new start and a finish and an FFO. That was the market one, so it counts. It counts. I started it, finished it, designed it, and it is done for market, and I really like it. The only thing I can tell you about that one really is that it's more of a historical and more of a primitive piece, which I was really pleased with how it turned out. Now, I gotta tell you, I was pretty proud about this one. I was chatting with Tina of Team Egner, and we were just discussing something we saw, and that it was a little bit primitive and a little bit whimsical, and sometimes mine crossed the line. And even though I absolutely adore primitive, rustic, all that, I still, especially at Christmas time, I just love whimsical. And all of a sudden, I just called it primsicle, and it was so funny because we laughed. I'm like, I'm a little bit prim and I'm a little bit whimsical, and I said, I think I'm primsicle. And so we got a good laugh out of that. Hopefully you will too. But either way, it's a hashtag now. I am going to use that as a hashtag, because it's funny that I enjoy the primitive designs much for my own personal stitching, but what comes out of me is whimsical, and then sometimes I'm half and half, so we called it primsicle. So just so you know, it's okay to be primsicle, and I'm feeling a little bit more confident in my designing when it comes to something a little more primitive in nature. So that's the piece that I finished. Okay, then Saturday night, we had decided, and it's a few of us now. At first, it was Tina and myself, and we wanted to continue stitching a Christmas Prairie Schooler on Saturdays. I believe there's a hashtag Saturday Santa Stitching. And it's not ours, it's been out there. But we wanted to continue doing a Prairie Schooler Christmas after we finished, I think it was Santa's Night or something like that, the last one I did. That's at the Framers. I did drop that off, the blue one. So this, started this, here we go, Saturday night, the Prairie Schooler Christmas Eve. I love this one. And I was going to do it in a light blue. I think I might have mentioned that last week, but I ended up with, I believe I'm using Sage. One second here. I picked up 28 count Lugana wheat, and oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. 1 second here. This is my progress. See, the background is dark. Okay. Not sure what I got. I wish I could figure out, my light is right here. And see, that doesn't work. We'll get it one day. So, this is where I'm at. I got the word Noellen. Can't believe I made a mistake on M. The M for Mary. Had to pick it out. But basically, I've got the, right here, that is rooftop. And a little bit of, Jesus, this is so hard backwards, smoke. So, anyhow, I love the color together. That white pops out so good. Okay, so that one, I am storing in a Dot Dot Goose project bag. which is, I love Christmas project bags. I don't care. I love them, love them. This is it. Let's see here. There you go. There's Santa in there. And this is the candy cane one I showed all through the other Prairie Schooler. Now I just happen to have the one that I know I want to go to possibly next for sure. And it is Christmas Traditions. And I happened to notice that Jennifer, she messaged me and sent a picture. She is doing Christmas Traditions, this one of the Nativity. I think I moved my light. Here you go. So, I told her, I said, uh-oh, I might be joining you because this is the one I really wanted to do. I gotta tell you what, anyone who can do this webcam and get it nailed the first time is completely skilled. So I do love, I love this one and this one. But since Jennifer's doing that, it's always nice to have a friend to stitch with. And I told her I wouldn't be starting it right away. But I made a decision. I was telling Linda, when it comes to StitchCon, I already know, since it doesn't matter if we stitch on these more than Saturday night, but the goal is this is our Saturday night stitch. Sometimes you love something and you just keep stitching. There's no rules. So my idea was, I told Linda, I said, oh my gosh, this is so nice. I know for a fact I'm taking that to StitchCon, because you really don't want to stitch on anything heavy duty. I took a very nice Hands Across the Sea sampler, and I knew I could stitch a letter and not make a mistake. And it was just a small sampler, and that was the one that Laura Duet and I had started together at StitchCon. But now that I've been, now that I know for a fact a Prairie Schooler, especially if you have fill-in, works out great. So I'm definitely taking this one. If perchance I finish it, then I'll be taking this one. And then Tina and I were already talking about, we're just going to roll on to the next one. So I love this. And I love, Tina mentioned it too, it feels good to keep stitching Christmas after Christmas, that there was no break in it. Because I think a lot of times we just don't get it. We don't kill the Christmas bug. Not that that sounded bad, but you just kind of get started. The momentum gets going. And, even if you're starting in November, the likelihood of too many finishes doesn't happen. That's why so many people do the ornaments all year. So I really, both, Tina said it this morning and I said it, it's nice. It's really nice to just still be stitching Christmas. And Prairie School makes it that much easier. So anyways, that was my progress on my new start. Then, and I think that was really, I prepared my next model stitch for me, and it is a Christmas one. So that'll be a market release, and I got that all ready to go yesterday. That was kind of on my chore list. As far as the I shared with everybody that my goal was to get the color conversion for the sampler I'm going to reproduce. I did do that. That took a while at Brick City. I love it. I love this one, and I think the colors are going to be really pretty. So I'm excited about that. But now I have to go ahead and design it in my cross-stitch program, because I don't want to, obviously I can't stitch from nothing. But I wanted to make sure I did it in this way versus before I designed it and then went and picked colors and then had to go back and change. And I'm still learning so much about designing. So anyways, but I did want to show you, if you were on Instagram you saw, but right before Christmas, I had found a sampler. And I don't think anybody was out bidding, or maybe they were business Christmas shopping. Either way, I was a very lucky bidder on this one, and her name is Jane Maud Staveley, age 11. And I need to do research on the school. This is the first time I have got a sampler with the school name on it, 1879. And I think you would say Hey National School. So I'm ready. I want to get into this and look up a little more. I always buy my samplers for about 3 or 4 different reasons. One, the red in this and the blue in this and the white in this just screamed, you know, red, white, and blue. Everything I love. Then I look for, you know, the words and what scripture did the young girl pick. And this is one that, because I try to keep things on my bedroom wall, I keep my samplers, my reproduced or original samplers on my bedroom walls so that I always have the words to look to help me through the week. So this one is, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. And I just loved all the motifs. So let me see if I can get it a little closer for you and get it in the right direction. There you go. There's that whole white in the middle. I loved the ship. It has crowns, 2 crowns as a matter of fact. There's a little tree in there, birds. I really like it. I love the original. You can tell how old the frame is. But, so that is Jane Maud Stanley. And for right now, she's hanging on my wall in my bedroom, and she took the place of the one I took down to reproduce. Okay, so that was exciting, because really it was on a whim, and I had marked it, and I really loved the colors. And this last one is a little bit of a bugger to get the colors. You know, it's always something, you learn something every time you do it. So, okay. Now, I wanted to share with you, last week, at the very end of my FlossTube, I shared Yaz, her name is Yaz, Yasmin Made with Love. I shared that she was doing a kind of a fundraiser. She is now designing. She is also using her designs right now to help her go to the London Marathon. So I don't need to repeat that. You can go to her Instagram page and you can learn more about that. So she's fundraising, and she's doing it on behalf of this group I shared last week, which maybe I should just insert that again for you, but I wanted to share with you. I did not get to have them printed out last week when I found out, and she's continuing to design, and I want to continue to support her, because basically you go out, you buy it, you show proof of the receipt to her, and then you get it. So anyways, she's coming up with some really cool ones. So this is called Dream Big Dreams. And I will say that her charts are really nicely done. Then this one is the key to growth. So you make a donation, you get a free chart. So this one is the key to growth, and it's really cool. It says inclusion is the key to growth. Okay, so why did this touch my heart so much? Because even though maybe some of what she's talking about could be just somebody with autism or a learning disability or dyslexia or any of those things, this is something that just tugs at my heartstrings, and I am so glad that that is what she picked to fundraise for. And she's done some beautiful designs that go along with that. So I'm going to try and show you this one a little bit closer, because I feel like this one is a little bit on that primitive nature. I love these little granny squares up here that she did. To me, those look like little granny squares. So I printed this one, and I made sure that I could read to you a little bit about what she's doing. She said, I'm going to skip over some of it, but she said, hello, Hi everyone, my name is Yasmin. You may know me from Instagram and YouTube channel called Yasmin's Made with Love. So check her out on her FlossTube as well. I'm a cross stitcher and multi-crafter. I spend numerous hours stitching and making beautiful things. Not many people know that I am a marathon runner. She's been running since February 2018. Well, last year I really started paying attention to her because that's when I had done a half marathon with my sister. And so, you know, it's just nice. It's nice to be supportive of each other, especially when you have more than one thing in common. She said, when I began my running adventure, my main goal was to cross the finish line of the London Marathon. Despite all the training and hard work, I was unsuccessful to qualify, but this didn't stop me. I continued running with the intention that one day my dream will come true. Little did I know that 4 years later, my dream became a reality. I am extremely privileged to enter London Marathon 2023 and fundraising for the incredible UK charity MenCap. MenCap is a UK charity for people with learning disabilities. They support learners, their families, and their careers. The charity vision is a world where people with a learning disability are valued equally, listened to, and included. She was diagnosed with dyslexia in 2013, and I know how challenging everyday life can get. I went through the whole educational system without knowing, and of course that's where my printer kind of stopped printing. But I encourage you. It's included with her patterns. I encourage you to go take a look at what she has in her shop. Now, if you follow her on Instagram, just go to her profile link and it'll take you and explain things from there. She also did an equality sampler and it's a band sampler. So I wanted to give her channel a shout out as well as what she's doing in the charity MenCap. Anyways, thank you for letting me share that with you. I think that it's important. I want to make sure I don't forget anything with you at all today. So I wanted to share this thing. So Linda and I doing our new planners and making sure we have some stickers this year. I have found, the first year I did it, I don't know. I wasn't organized with it or something. And then my mom passed. So it just never happened for me. So this year it's been nice. I used the tray behind me as my stitchy tray. It's up high. It can slide right over me. My blanket's there. Everything's set to go for nighttime. And then I have a stitching mat that lays over top of that. And on it, I had bought from Etsy a sewing machine mat. And so basically what it is this. And I've shared it before, but I used to have it under my sewing machine on my desk right here. But when I got my desk organized, which I did, I bought 2 risers. I love everything they're doing. I feel so much better. But anyways, this wouldn't work because my risers would not lay flat. So I went ahead and took this off, put it over on my table, and it gives me pockets. And so I can I'll fold this up so I can use 2 hands. My pen is here, or even a ruler. My stickers are here, and so I can just pull them out as I need them. And then there's more all the way across. And then I have, 1 second here, this I got from Creative Country Girl Tammy Blaylock, and I had gotten this at StitchCon. So I had my mat, and so basically they're both black, their colors match perfectly. So this lays on top of the other one, and so then on top of that I have my which of course the mat, as you saw, was the Blackbird designs in black, and then I have my tray, my stitchy tray. So I keep my needle book and my Kohana scissors, and that sits right on top, and all the things I love are right in front of me. But what I liked was the fact that my stickers had a place to go. I have a round, there it is. I have a round table in between the two chairs, and there's not a lot of room once the cat decides that she has found her place, which is always right there. So, let me put this down. I finally feel that it's something I have set myself up for being successful with. Oh, I got a cat hair. Sorry. Okay, because you know they lay on it. I just guarantee you at some point. I try to keep, my project bag goes right on top then, and I try to keep them off, but there's no keeping them off. They're cats. They do what they want. Okay. I think I'm going to go for a walk today. The weather here has been gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. We are down at night to the 50s and 40s and up as just in the middle of 70s. Oh, and I ran into two nice, wonderful ladies at Hobby Lobby. I have never been to Hobby Lobby picking out floss, and it was crowded. The actual floss area was crowded. Three of us were grabbing over each other. Now, I didn't wear makeup. Of course I didn't. Every time I end up meeting somebody that knows me from FlossTube or Instagram, I'm never wearing makeup. I think I got to change that. But either way, it was really fun because when I was done getting my floss, I said, all right, what's everybody working on? See, that's what kills me. I'm like, I just love meeting people. So it's fun that I can just turn around and say, what you working on? So they were both, the first lady was actually grabbing some things before she traveled with her husband again, and later on found me in the store and asked some more questions. So it was really nice to talk to her. And then I also met a younger girl and her daughter, which was a sweetheart, and she lives here locally in Leesburg. So we're going to get together and stitch. And then her mom said, my daughter just met you, which, anyways, you know, I love her mom too. So hopefully maybe the three of us will get to stitch together. She's close enough that we absolutely need to make it happen. So that was fun. Okay. This is the portion, man, cat hairs. This is the portion where I wanted to take 2 seconds, and I have had a lot of people ask me about the program I use for cross-stitch design. Okay, if you're not interested in that, then maybe don't finish watching. We're only at 37 minutes, or if you want to, I'd love for you to stick it out to the end. I can't go through everything, but I can tell you I use PC Stitch Pro 11. I bought it off Amazon. I had to buy, because it still comes in a disc, I had to buy a small $20, oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'm so sorry if that was in your ear. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. So I bought that off Amazon, and I bought the disc reader off Amazon. I really like it. I have really grown to enjoy this program a lot. My husband got me a mouse to go with it. I don't use it. Not really sure why I don't use it, but I feel like I have better control from the mouse pad that's on my laptop. I don't design for my tablet. I design for my laptop. What did I learn from PC Stitch Pro that I would share with you? One, I started with something simple because it's not drawing, it's not painting, so it's its own thing, but you kind of are. So anyways, I wanted to start with something that was a shape or a picture that I was so familiar with that I could do it without looking at anything else. So I picked a snowman, because how many times have we drawn a snowman as a kid for ourselves, for our kids? 3 circles, a hat. They were shapes I felt like I could accomplish. So pick something that you feel like that you could do, to me, without looking anywhere else, that you're just playing with, and that you have done this shape 1,000 times. Maybe there's just something that you like. I didn't want to do a house. I didn't want to try a flower. I didn't want to try anything like that. I knew a snowman for me, and I also knew that there would be very few colors involved. So the very first thing I designed was a snowman, and I didn't even bother doing like 3, large, medium, small snow. I started with just the head and a body, and that ultimately became my first release or second release, but it was Winter Messenger, and that is my snowman with the cardinal on it. But the first thing I got down was the shape of the head and the second part, the middle part of the body, and then I worked on the hat and squaring things off or rounding it at the top. I also had just finished the red cardinal sampler, and so I'd done a lot of cardinals, and I'd stitched a lot of cardinals, so being able to put that in was not too hard for me. So anyways, that's the first thing I would suggest. When you first open it up, make sure you pick something that is, I guess I would say, childlike. Wow, that really got to me. Then I learned that when you open it up, it's going to give you like a standard palette of colors that are down below that you can click on, and that's the color you're using. Okay, I quickly learned to get rid of it. You can keep it, but what ends up happening is you have colors in your palette that once you've designed something that you didn't use, and the best thing to do is learn first how to go over to palette and erase it all, clear it out, clear the entries, so that you go over to the DMC or where it has Weeks Dye Work, Classic Color Works, all of that. So then you can specifically pick the color that you want, so that throws it into your palette underneath your design. So now, instead of having the 20 that came up, that is a little overwhelming, but I only used white, black, red. So I have learned over time the best thing I could do is get rid of the palette right off the bat. Then go to my 310, which we all know is black, and hit add, and then it's in my palette for that specific project or pattern I'm designing. Then I'm not overwhelmed with looking down and going from there, so then I can pick my white. Then I learned that I could go, let's say I want to use Weeks Dye Works grits, then I can go over to Weeks Dye Works, drop down, find grits, add it, and then you're getting your correct colors in from the get-go. Okay, now that being said, the next thing I would share is I wouldn't worry at first about the perfect color when you're just playing and learning. What do I mean by that? Okay, what I'm saying is clear your palette, and now let's say you're going to draw a scene. I at first would just pick the color that the computer screen showed. So let's say it's 927, 926. These are all blues I love and have used. So I know those. But if I was putting it with a red, and I wanted to try, I know my standard 815, 816 or whatever, those are all easy for me. But maybe there's a gold and I wasn't quite sure. Just pick one that looks like the gold you're trying to achieve, so the pattern in front of you looks right, so it resembles what you're trying to create, because you can always go back later and then you realize, oh, 728, that's the gold I love. That's for me. That's my primitive gold. All you do is add it and replace the other. Okay, so there's a time and a place for everything, and hopefully that didn't confuse you too much. But I know, we all know our colors that are our favorites. We all know maybe our grass color that's our favorite. And at first, I just want to get the design from my head onto the screen. So I know one of my favorite DMC colors is 3011, 3012. I'll put those in. But when it comes down to stitching it, I want to have Weeks Dye Works, and I want it to be a dyed floss. Then I can go decide, and I can change it later. I hope that makes sense. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Those were things I've learned over time. The other thing I learned, that maybe I'm not much of a reader of manuals. It's, where I lack. I don't really like directions. There is a tutorial with it that you can take at the very beginning. I was too excited. I've since then watched it, but I knew everything that they kind of had to share at the very beginning. Okay, I learned later on by accident that if I have two colors, okay, you can cut and paste. So later on, you get 3-4 designs in, and you've already created a bat. You've already created a snowman. You are looking for a broom. And of course, these are all, holiday related, but something simple. Let's just say it's in another pattern. You can pull up that pattern with your new one behind it. So you've got two windows open, and then basically you can go and you can cut, and then cut it in the one, copy it, go to your new design, paste it right in, move it where you want to move it, but it automatically adds those colors into your palette. Okay, so sometimes you've already used one brown, and there's no reason that somebody should have to buy another brown. So let's say we did the broom, and I've already got one brown, a coffee brown, in the design. I don't want them to have to buy another one, and if the brown works, so what I'll do is you merge them basically together. You can drag that color, put it on top of the one that already exists, and it puts those stitches and stitch count into that. At the very beginning, I did not know that. So what I had was, sometimes I had 2 310s. Let's just do it that way. If I brought in something else that had a black, it threw another black in, another 310, but with a different key for the chart, your legend. I don't want that. People need one stitch count to know how many stitches. So I had to learn how to merge those two together. Okay. That's lesson 1. I don't want to have to give you any more, and hopefully those are just some beginner tips. I don't know, I'm not trying to say at all that I know anything else about any other design program. I don't. I would be interested in learning about others that are out there and maybe why they're better than what I have, if it is. This was a reasonable way for me to start, and I've had a few women ask me, what did you use? Because I just want to design something for my family. So I wanted to make sure I shared. There's no reason to not share my mistakes with you so that you can feel confident that if I can do it, you can do it. It just takes a little bit. But I do encourage maybe picking something at first to play with that gives you the feeling of creating something round and then something square, and then putting them together, and then a face. It's really fun, and it's a different way to still be involved in stitching and have a good time. So I think I covered everything. I just absolutely pray that you have a great week. I pray that you have time for yourself, time to stitch, and I just get such joy out of doing this, and I really got a kick out of watching a new stitcher this week. I think sometimes, I love all my normals. They're like my regular go-to channels, but boy, is it fun when you find somebody new that makes you laugh, that makes you feel good inside. So give Teresa a watch of the Golden Goose. What did I say her name was? I think it was the Golden Goose. But let me make sure. Before I let you go, let me just double check, and I will have her in here. Oh, the Golden Goose was a book, right? Yeah, I'm not crazy. The Garden Goose Stitcher. Anyways, I think you'll enjoy her. And other than that, guys, have a great week. Enjoy. If you're stitching on a Prairie schooler, just please let me know. I had such a kick out of seeing a few stitchers at Annabella's winter retreat. I had a great time watching Matilda getting stitched, and I had a question. Where did I find the ruler ribbon? So it is a ribbon that I used to finish my Matilda small that I've shared before, but either way, I found mine at Hobby Lobby, but I can tell you can get a bigger spool of the yardstick ribbon off Amazon if you want to go that route. I know Joann's has it too, I believe, but I got mine at Hobby Lobby. So if you're looking for that for any of your finishes, that was also another question that I had. Okay, guys, I'm still doing good. So just so you know, I am still doing good. I am on day 7 of Whole30, and I wanted to give a thank you to my sweet friend Kat from Instagram, who just wanted to remind me that this journey is about a healthy journey, health, and yes, weight is included, but it's about the whole me. So whatever you can do to get outside, take a walk, be good, be good to yourself, and take one day at a time. All right, guys, have a great week. I will see you next Sunday live. I will have Randy put something at the end as a reminder, and I will put something on Instagram live 7 o'clock next Sunday, and hopefully we can stitch together. All right, guys, check you out. I'll see you later. Don't forget to floss. Bye.